Welcome everyone to part 2 of my 7 round Fusion Cup sweep, and round number 5 I face Ash. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly or not. And his team is weak to Empoleon. Empoleon takes out Noctowl, Blaziken, Frostlass and Probopass and versus Whiscash. It's iffy, but my Empoleon can take out his Whiscash. So I decide to take with Empoleon, and the biggest weakness to Empoleon is Shift Tree and Whiscash. So I take Noctowl and Shift Tree. Let's see what we do. Now here again I double check his team. I'm wary of his Frostlass, but I know my Empoleon can take out his Frostlass. Now he leads with Probopass. It's a Rock Throw Probopass. Now Empoleon does lose to Spark Probopass, and he switches to Blaziken. That's a counter Blaziken. So he took Blaziken as his counter user. Counter does a lot of damage to Empoleon, but still I switch to my Noctowl because my Noctowl has no use now. With his Blaziken gone, I need my Noctowl low so that his Probopass can't farm down my Noctowl. So I don't shield that. I thought it was going to be a Blast Burn, and I wing attack down his Blaziken. He comes back with Probopass. I can do nothing. Sky attack and Nightshade is going to do basically nothing to Probopass, and I want him to farm down my Noctowl as soon as possible. I do get to another Sky attack. It's basically chip damage to his Probopass. And my Noctowl goes down. I wait out the switch clock a little bit. And I switch to Empoleon again. Now this could be a Thunderbolt, so I shield here. But this ends up being a Magnet Ball. I don't know why he went for Magnet Ball. Now he switches to his Shift Tree, and I have nothing for his Shift Tree left. I switch to my Noctowl. So yeah, my team didn't work out so well. Yes, I know. And I don't shield here. I need his Shift Tree as low as possible. So both Leaf Blade and Foul Play is resisted. So I go for Leaf Blade because it has higher DPE. It's more efficient. And we end up in a CMP tie. Now I decide to let my Shift Tree go. Oh, I shield. Oh, I don't know why I shielded here. I should have just let this Shift Tree go. Now I miscalculate here. I miscalculated that. I thought that we were at same energy, but he switched his Shift Tree in, so he had one extra Snarl, and he takes out my Shift Tree. Now here again another mistake I do is I go for Hydro Cannon. I should have just Waterfall down that Probopass. If I had Waterfall down that Probopass, I could have just gone for another Waterfall for the Shift Tree. His Probopass didn't have much energy, so this was a huge mistake, trash play from me. And he takes game number. This was a winning game. I don't know why I went for that shield and Hydro Cannon there. Now again, I lead with Empoleon. This time he has Noctowl. I switched my team this time. I brought in a Scavalier with Empoleon. Scavalier can take out both his Probopass and Shift Tree. He Sky attacks me, and I go for Hydro Cannon, CMP tie. I can basically waterfall down his Noctowl in this health. I can tank another Sky Attack. Sky Attack at this health isn't going to KO. So I don't shield. So that my Empoleon doesn't become energy. And I go for straight. I'm going to straight Hydrocan whatever comes in. Whatever. And he comes back with Probopass. I don't know why he came back with Probopass. But this time I am prepared for his Probopass. I switch to my Escavalier. And Escavalier just does so much damage with countering. Look at that damage. Escavalier basically soloing his Probopass. I need to shield once and I can counter that Probopass. It's the same versus Probopass and Alolan Sandslash. You shield once and you counter down both of them. You end up with almost 50% HP left. He has Shift in the back. I can go for straight Aerial Ace. Now, I could have just countered him down, but I decide to burn his shields just in case. Just in case. And I basically sweep with my Escavalier. Game number 3, same mindset. I lead with Empoleon and he leads with Blaziken this time. Now I know that Empoleon can waterfall down his Blaziken. Although counters are doing a lot of damage. So I decide to shield here and I do not go for Hydrocan, because if I go for Hydrocan I'm going to lose one waterfall. So I just waterfall his Blaziken down and I have tons of energy left at a cost of a shield. He comes back with Noctowl. He probably has Probopass in the back. He gets to a Sky Attack first. Same beat die again. I do not shield. Empoleon has done its job and more. I decide to come back with my own Noctowl. I am trying to bait out his Probopass. He goes for a Sky Attack. And he switches to his Probopass and I instantly switch to my Escavalier. Again, the counter domination. Oh man. I know I can tank a Rock Slide, but again he goes for Magnet Realm. I think he doesn't have the Probopass unlocked. I am low, but I have energy. And his Probopass is gone. I go for Aerial Ace. He has to shield this. I go for another Aerial Ace. Farming down Probopass is just so satisfying. Escavalier is just too good. And I had Sky Attack pre-charged. And I just straight Sky Attack down his Noctowl. GG. Round number 6 versus Shaun 12. Again he has Frostlass in his team. So I take Empoleon for his Noctowl, Swampert, Probopass and Frostlass. I take Noctowl for his Shiftry and Escavalier. Also Noctowl can go toe to toe with Swampert. And I take Shiftry for his Swampert and to support my Empoleon. I lead with Empoleon and he leads with Escavalier. Hard loss for me. Escavalier beats both Empoleon and Shiftry in my team. I switch to my Noctowl. I am lagging a little bit. And he switches to his Frostlass. I go for Nightshade. Now he probably knows it's a nightshade, he's going to shield this. He was probably counting. He shields. And I shield this time. I need to knock out that Frostless. Again, with my Noctowl gone, his Cavalier can just sweep my Empoleon and Shiftry. It's basically GG at this point. I have lost the game. It's very hard for me to come back. I don't shield. I shield. I'm sorry. I shield. And I had Sky Attack charged. I don't know what went through in my mind. I could have just Sky Attacked that Frostless. No idea. I don't know why I tried to go for Nightshade. I had Sky Attack charged. Huge misplay on my part. Here I go for Hydro Cannon. I don't try to farm because he can just, at this health, he can Shadow Ball down my Empoleon. And again he's going to come back with his Cavalier. Now if this is a drill run, it's going to almost one-shot my Empoleon, but he goes for Aerialis. He probably doesn't have drill run like me. Now he switches to his Noctowl. Now I can't switch to my Shiftry. I have to stay in with my Empoleon. I lose the game even before the game had started. He knocks out my Empoleon and I have Shiftry in the back. I do go for, again, I could have just Leaf Blade his Noctowl, but I didn't. I don't know why, but I didn't tap Leaf Blade. It resulted in a CMP tie and I lost. But this time I make some modifications to my team. I leave out Shiftry because Shiftry isn't doing much, and I take Bronzong, Empoleon and Noctowl, my trusty double steal strat. He leads with Noctowl this time, and I win the lead. Now he has to either switch to Frostless or his Cavalier because I am going to take out his Noctowl. He shields and he goes for Sky Attack. I do not need to shield that. Empoleon is just so good. Now I do shield that because I want to win switch advantage. I don't want his Cavalier stuck with my Bronzong or his Frostless. Anything stuck with my Bronzong. So I need to win the switch advantage. He comes back to his Swampert. Now if you didn't know, Swampert actually loses versus Empoleon, because Swampert can't go straight Hydro Cannon, straight Earthquake. Swampert has to get the Hydro Cannon bait and then land the Earthquake. Here I come back with Noctowl, and he gets to a Hydro Cannon. It resulted in a CMB tie, and I'm just going to go Sky Attack. He lets his Swampert go. Now I farm down his Swampert. I still have a shield left, and he comes back with Frostless. This time I go straight Sky Attack because I know he has to go for straight Avalanche. Now this is bad for me, right? Like I have Bronzong in the back. But look, he didn't shield that Sky Attack, and now his Frostlass, his Confusion Rage. If he shielded that, it probably would have been a bit different. But at this health, I can just Confusion down his Frostlass. I have a shield left, even if this is a Shadow Ball. I don't need to worry. And I take game number 2. Game number 3, I decide to lead with Noctowl, and he leads with Shiftry. He took Shiftry for both Empoleon and Bronzong, and I win the lead hard. He switches to his Noctowl. Now I switch to my Empoleon because versus Noctowl, Bronzong has to shield once, or Noctowl will just go double Nightshade KO. So I need to shield my Bronzong once, but with Empoleon I do not need to shield. I can just go for straight Hydro Cannon. And if he shields, he's going to be at a shield deficit. So he decides to shield. And here, now Sky Attack at this health won't KO, so I don't shield this time. And my Empoleon is so low that he can't farm me down. If he shields now, he's going to be at a huge shield disadvantage. So he doesn't shield, he wasted one shield on Noctowl. And he comes back with his Shiftry. I switch to my Noctowl. Now I am at a shield advantage, so even if he has Frostlass in his back, I can win. And he decides to shield his Shiftry. Does he have a Scavalier in the back? Why isn't he switching? He goes for Leaf Blade. Now we result in a CMP tie again, and I don't shield. I could have just wing attacked him down, but I didn't want my Noctowl to take heavy damage if in case he had a Scavalier in the back. So I KO Shiftry, and he has Swampert in the back. Nice. He didn't take Frostlass for some reason. Again, if he had Whiscash, it would have been a bit difficult for me. But still, Bronzong Empoleon combo is just so strong. They cover each other's weakness except for Grass, except for Shiftry. But Empoleon can go toe to toe with Mudboys. Empoleon can win versus Probopass. And versus Spark Probopass, Bronzong can win, cancels out each other's weakness. And Empoleon also beats the fire types, which Bronzong loses to. So they pair up so nicely together. And his Swampert is so low that even if he Hydro Cannoned me at that health, it would have been, he couldn't have won anyways. So GG. Round number 7, the final round versus Muzahid 05. He has Heracross in his team, and Heracross beats Empoleon, Shiftry, Poliwrath, and Scavalier. So Heracross is a big threat to my team. So I decide to take Bronzong and Noctowl, two very good counters for Heracross, and I pair that up with Empoleon. Now I am wary of his Heracross. If he reaches 13 counters, he can go straight double close combat. So I am wary. So I decide to take Empoleon lead, and he leads with Heracross. This is a hard loss for me, but I switch to my Bronzong. As a safe switch, Bronzong is just so good, and he switches to his Noctowl. So although I lost the lead, because I had 2 counters for Heracross, that I could save swap to Bronzong. Now even if my Bronzong dies, I have Noctowl to counter his Heracross. Now this is my double counter team, the hard counter soft counter team. Now he goes for Nightshade, I do not need to shield. And I go for Psyshock. I need to win switch advantage. His shields is knocked down. So for winning switch advantage, I shield. I can just confusion down his Noctowl at this health. And he has Swampert. Empoleon can just donk Swampert. And my Bronzong could get to another Psyshock. So that was very good. Now I switch to my Empoleon now, because I know he has Heracross in the back. And this could be an Earthquake. So I shield, and he goes for Hydro Cannon. I got baited, and he switches to Heracross and I switch to my Noctowl. Clean. Now this close combat isn't going to KO Noctowl, and I know he doesn't have enough energy for double close combat, and it reduces his defense 2 stages. I could just wing attack down his Heracross, and we end up in a CMP tie. He has to use his energy on Noctowl, but he goes for Muddy Water. He doesn't have Earthquake on his Swampert, so I go for Sky Attack. And Noctowl is just so bulky that he has to use up his energy on my Noctowl. He was running Hydro Cannon and Muddy Water Swampert for some reason, no idea. And one Hydro Waterfall takes out his Swampert. Match number 2, same mindset. I take double counters for Heracross, and I leave out Empoleon this time for Poliwrath. And I take the lead win. He doesn't have Earthquake. He can go for all the Muddy Waters and Hydro Cannons he wants, but he cannot take down my Poliwrath with his Swampert. And if he switches now, he's going to lose switch advantage. And now I do go for Dynamic Punch, because Muddy Water is annoying. Muddy Water drops my attack stat by 1 stage, I think. Again, I do not need to shield. He goes for Hydro Cannon. And I reach Dynamic Punch. It does a lot of damage to Swampert. Now I think I shield here. No, I don't. I tank. So I decide to let my Poliwrath go. I underestimated his Hydro Cannon damage. So now I come back with Bronzong, and I have Noctowl for his Heracross. Now this Hydro Cannon is going to do quite some damage. So I shield, and I confusion down his Swampert. So although I lost the lead, but as I had shield advantage, and now I have shield advantage and energy advantage, and he has Probopass in the back, I can go straight bulldoze for his Probopass. And he probably has Heracross with his Probopass in the back, so it's GG at this point. It's a Spark Probopass. I decide to go for Psyshock. Psyshock at this health will KO his Probopass. And he doesn't shield. And he comes back with his Heracross. And just look how much damage those confusions are doing. That was like what, 3 confusions? Heracross is almost dead. Now I need to be careful here for his close combat, and I don't think he has enough energy for double close combat. And I wing attack down his Heracross debuffed, and I take the 7-0 championship. But for sportsmanship we go for a round 3, and again I win the lead hard this time. I go for Sky Attack. I thought he was going to switch, but he didn't. He needs to shield that. Now I shield to take switch advantage. And I wing attack down his Heracross. And he comes back with Swampert. I go straight Sky Attack. It does about half to Swampert. Swampert, not the bulkiest of mobs. Now here one mistake I make is I shield. Again I underestimated the Hydro Cannon damage and I shield. And he will probably get to another Hydro Cannon. Yes, he does. He gets to another Hydro Cannon, and I think this will KO my Noctowl. So I wasted a shield here. Although my Noctowl gets to a Sky Attack, but I should have probably switched to my Bronzong and let my Noctowl go, because he has Shift in the back and a shield. If I had switched to my Bronzong or Poliwrath and let my Noctowl go, and with one shield I can go straight Dynamic Punch and KO his Shiftry with Poliwrath. So it's basically over at this point. He will take game number 3, but I did win the first 2 rounds and I take the championship. He will go for, he can just foul play down my Bronzong. I have nothing for his Shiftry. Psyshock wasn't going to do any damage to his Shiftry, and he will just leaf blade down my Poliwrath. So very well played by Muzahid, and I take the championship. They arranged a big trophy. It was the Moghbazar community hosting the first Central Cup, and I would like to thank all participants, and special props to the Moghbazar community for arranging such a huge tournament. Thank you for bringing all communities together. Almost players from all communities around Dhaka, Bangladesh participated in this cup, making it one of the largest cups ever. And there was food, there was arrangement for everyone. They booked a convention center, there were trophies, and it was such a good experience playing in such a large tournament. And I hope that they can host more such large tournaments. So thank you again. This was Bhuvan Ahmed signing out.